What's up, world? It's your boy Tommy Malv, and I came to speak on something that was really bothering me. I don't know if y'all know, but Wilder and Tyson Fury fought a couple months ago, right? Fury won in a knockout, which is very uncommon for Fury, because Fury is not a puncher, right? He never knocks anybody out. He's a runner. He most of the time he doesn't even throw punches. He most of the time just dodges. He's a defensive first fighter. Never really been an aggressive fighter. But regardless, Tyson Fury ended up knocking out Wilder, right? Which I was more for, because I've never been a huge fan of Deontay Wilder. I think he's a great puncher, but I think he's a horrible fighter. So you know what I'm saying. I did not like him per se as a fighter, but I also did think he was exciting to watch. But that being said, Tyson Fury, I'm not a fan of him either. So it's like I really, at the end of the day, if I had to choose out of who I went out of Wilder and Fury, I probably would have chosen Fury, because Fury is more the boxer, and Wilder kind of makes it look like any drunk person can walk in off the street and become a boxer, because he doesn't really use a lot of technique, and he doesn't use a lot of boxing psychology. He doesn't use a lot of this. He uses a lot of just wild punches, and Wilder is not a great fighter. So the more he wins, the more it makes, in my opinion, it kind of makes the sport look bad. He has the ability, I think, to become a great fighter, but I think he just doesn't care, which in turn just makes the sport look worse. But that's neither here nor there. That is not the focus of this video. The video, I'm just saying that to say I don't have a bias towards Tyson Fury. I don't care. If I had to choose out of two, I would rather Tyson Fury be the better boxer than freaking Wilder, because Wilder is not a boxer. He's just a wild puncher. So who uses very little boxing. He's literally just a puncher. I think he uses technique, of course. I mean, you couldn't box if you didn't use some technique, but he doesn't use his head. So I think if I had to, my type of fighter is Tyson Fury. I'm a fan of Floyd Mayweather. You know what I'm saying? So Tyson Fury is like a larger, slower Floyd Mayweather. But regardless, if I had to choose, I would choose. That's the only point I'm trying to make, because the minute you start saying something, first thing people want to say is, "Oh, you're a fan of you just wanted Fury to lose. You just mad Wilder lost." I don't give a shit Wilder lost. Okay. I do have a problem with them calling freaking Tyson Fury Muhammad Ali, because I think that shit's just laughable. He's nowhere near Muhammad Ali. But other than that, I mean, I don't care. I didn't care about this fight. My life doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? But if somebody puts evidence in front of me, I'm going to decipher the evidence and figure out what the truth is. And the truth of the matter is, if anybody has not heard this story, go look at the pictures of Tyson Fury's fight with Deontay Wilder. It's complete bullshit. I mean, go look. I boxed, right? I know how a boxing glove is supposed to look when it's freshly put on. I know how a boxing glove is supposed to is supposed to be taped on. I know how your fist is supposed to fit in a glove, right? So somebody can say whatever the hell they want. All these Tyson Fury people are just, I think a lot of them are just happy that a white guy beat a black guy. I don't even think half of them are boxing fans, to be totally honest. I think it's a mixture of white guy beating black guy, Britain being American. I think it's a whole bunch of external factors that make people like Tyson Fury, because he is. I don't understand how these same people who do nothing but criticize Floyd Mayweather Jr. for being too defensive of the fighter, yet somehow love Tyson Fury. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like they don't even try to hide their blatant hypocrisy. I cannot run into a white person who likes Floyd Mayweather. I can't run into a white person who dislikes Tyson Fury, and they have almost identical fighting measures. They put defense first. Except the difference is that Floyd Mayweather is a magician. If you have ever boxed, Floyd Mayweather is so damn good. Like, anybody who knows a tad bit about boxing, Floyd Mayweather is on another level. Fury is average to below average. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only difference. Fury sucks at it. He never throws any big punches. He doesn't knock out anybody. Yeah, all these white boys love him. And you sit there and say, dude, just say you're a fucking, not that you're a racist. You don't have to be a racist. That's fine. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying you racist and you hate black people. Or you hate, no, you see a white guy, just like if I saw a black guy playing tennis. I might root for him because he's black. You root for Tyson Fury because he's white. That doesn't make you racist. You know what I'm saying? But by the same token, admit this shit. Don't sit around talking, trying to act like, oh, well, he's different than Floyd Mayweather. He ain't no damn different than Floyd Mayweather. He's the same as Floyd Mayweather. They both are defensive first fighters. Both of them fight with that same, except he does it way shittier than Floyd Mayweather. Because Floyd Mayweather can slip a punch and just back. Floyd Mayweather is so good. He is not. Right? He just has yet to fight anybody who is going, well, he did. Wilder knocked him down 3 or 4 times. He has yet to fight somebody who is big enough. You know what I'm saying? Because Wilder was, and I think if Wilder would have been, okay, but we getting off track. Look at the gloves. You can see his freaking knuckles through the glove. Where they do that at? I'm sorry, anybody who is arguing that shit ain't crazy, these are brand new gloves. These were shot in the 3rd round. How in the hell are your knuckles through your glove? In the 3rd round. You can clearly see the glove goes indented around his knuckles and then back up. Like the person clearly went inside, and this is the problem with Deontay Wilder. He's not smart. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather is smart. Deontay Wilder is not. Deontay Wilder probably didn't even look at the gloves. He probably just went, okay, cool. Commission ain't gonna give a shit. They don't pay attention to anything. So, you know, people testing positive all the time. People getting caught with weights. The commission is shit. They don't know what they're doing. So half of them don't care. Half of them are in on the money anyways. They're trying to, they bet, and that don't even get me started on how corrupt the boxing commission is. So we ain't even talking about them. Them okaying some gloves is like saying the government okayed police said that. It's like saying a police department exonerated a cop from any wrongdoing. That's what it sounds like when someone says, "Well, the WBC checked it out." Come on, so you trying to tell me if that same shit was out there, if Wilder had knocked out Tyson Fury, and you had a freaking you had a glove that of Wilder that went in around his knuckles, those same people wouldn't be crying. They would. And it's like, and I'm not even, like I said, I don't have an axe to grind in the fight. It's just the truth. There's no way of getting around that. You can see his knuckles through the freaking glove. On top of that, he broke Deontay Wilder's skull. He broke his skull. Do you know, as a boxer, how hard it is to break somebody's skull when you're not even a fucking puncher? Tyson Fury has never been a puncher. He has hit people full blast and not knocked them out. But he is somehow strong enough. A guy who has little to no knockouts. He cannot knock majority of people out. But he can break somebody's skull with one punch. Are you fucking kidding me? Do you truly want people to believe that? I understand you want a white champion. That's fine. Cool. But call a spade a spade. That's bullshit. You know good and damn well he didn't break no Tyson. He did not break Deontay Wilder's skull without help. He's like, oh, it's 200 pounds. Shut the hell up. You're not 200 pounds. If they were 200 pounds, why you knock nobody else out? Cut that bullshit. They might believe in that. Oh, you knocked him out. Oh, it's just 200 pounds. Man, shut your ass up. You ain't knocked that man out with your fist. And there's no way in hell you broke that man's skull with your fist. And if that was the case, you should have been knocking bitches out. You should have been Deontay Wilder. You know, How? Like you knocking everybody out. I mean, you all this power that these weights that you're talking about, fucking pillow fighting people for the last 20 years, you just didn't know what you was doing, huh? I guarantee you, next fight, Deontay Wilder's gonna be more specific about the type. About the gloves he wears. How much you want to bet he does not knock Deontay Wilder out? Let's put some money on it. How much you want to bet the next time those two fight, he will not knock Deontay Wilder out? When Deontay Wilder is more specific about the gloves and is more specific about inspecting those gloves, I can almost guarantee you he will not knock Deontay Wilder out. You know how I know that? Because it's bullshit, because he only knocked him out this time because it's kind of obvious he fucking cheated. And that makes me angry as a boxing fan, right? You just took a young champion that was bringing eyes to the sport that I love, that millions of people love. This guy was bringing loads of attention to this sport. And you cheat, and you fucking cheat. You know what I'm saying? Like, someone explain that to me. They fought. And people keep saying, well, he gained all this. Well, he didn't gain no fucking weight in his fist. Like this what blows my mind. He gained 40 pounds with his weight. Yes, that helped him in leaning on Deontay Wilder. It does not help him in knocking Deontay Wilder out. Because he was way fatter when he fought when he first got out of prison. He wasn't knocking no damn body out then. He was overweight then. Why wasn't he knocking anybody out then? I know. I say it again. I know. It's hard to find a white champion for you guys to root for. And Tyson Fury is a good fighter. But he fucking cheated. It's just obvious he cheated. He cheated. You can clearly see he cheated. And to go back and look at he has sparring partners who said he did the same shit to them. All the evidence points to, ding, 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 he fucking cheated. He cheated. To have a guy who has no history of knocking out people break somebody's skull, and then you have pictures of this freaking punch in which he's punching people and the freaking glove is going off his hand. You know what does that? Try putting a glove on and putting a weight in it and then swing it. Watch what happens. The glove will start to come off. No matter how often you do it. If you put weighted material in a weightless glove, if you start by that's the angular momentum of the weight. When it does that, it's going to pull the glove. That's why you have all these things where his glove is clearly coming off, because he's punching with a weighted glove. And anybody who knows boxing doesn't have to be explaining this shit, right? Once again, Tyson Fury is a great defensive fighter. He just cheated. It's just, I'm sorry if people are so annoyed at the prospect of their white champion being called out. He should have fucking cheated. You can clearly see he cheated. Nothing empirically, no evidence points to to that fight making any fucking sense. The pictures of his boxing gloves, 3 rounds in. Why the hell is your glove that indented to the point that your knuckles are clearly seen in the thing? What type of padding allows you to see the knuckle? And what type of padding goes in under the knuckle? If you punch somebody, go out and punch a freaking wall. Punch anything with a glove. Go punch a punching bag with a glove. It will indent. But it will not stay indented unless there's no padding there. Unless the padding here and here is less than the padding there. This is common sense. He cheated. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, but it goes back to that thing, right? It's not that white people are racist. It's not that they hate black people, that they cheat. It's because they're the majority, right? So anytime they think a certain way on an issue, they're going to win out public opinion because there's way more of them than there is of anybody else. So if they want to turn around and say, at least in the popular sphere, right? If you're talking, so if this was Wilder, this shit would be all over ESPN. It would be all over Fox Sports. It would be all over. It's not gonna be all the because boxing's kind of like kind of faded in the back in as far as sports go, especially now that Wilder lost, which is bull. Like I said, because I didn't really think about that until I just said it. It's like the minute Wilder lost, boxing went from the forefront where it was really starting to make a charge, and now it's pulled back again. Because no one gives a shit about Tyson Fury, and even the white people don't care about Tyson Fury. They only wanted him to beat Wilder. So now that he's beat Wilder, no one gives a shit anymore. Boxing, they talking about him and Anthony Joshua fighting. Nobody didn't care. I think Joshua is gonna destroy him. I don't think he's a good. I don't think he's a good. Let me scratch that. I think he's a good fighter. I don't think he's a top tier fighter. I don't think Fury is a top tier fighter. I think he's very selective about who he fights. Right? He's undefeated because he's very selective about who he fights. He likes to fight people that are undersized. That's his preference. He likes to fight people he's clearly bigger than and are more skinny. Because then he leans on them, he gets his weight on them, and tires them out. Those are the good fighters. The ones that are not good fighters, they're trash cans. They're nobodies. He hasn't beat anybody who isn't a trash can. Or that it wasn't controversial that he won. I mean, the one other guy that was actually a pretty good fighter he fought, it was questions about the illegal punch he delivered on him. So, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, at the end of the day, it comes down to your preference. But I like I said, when I see Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, I think Anthony Joshua is gonna dismantle him. Anthony Joshua is a boxer. He's powerful, and he's very, very skilled. He's athletic, he's skilled, he's quick, he's fast. Tyson Fury are none of those things. Tyson Fury likes to lean his weight on thin, small fighters until they get tired. He's not going to be able to do that shit against Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is going to shove him off of him and start dinging his ass. And you can already see he's very susceptible to punches. So why anybody believes this fight between him and Anthony, even the people, his fans, don't even want him to fight Anthony Joshua because I think they know he's going to lose. Because I don't think anybody's going to be up for that fight because I think the majority of people think that Anthony Joshua is going to beat him. I think only people were more open to a Wilder Anthony Joshua fight because Wilder is such a wily puncher. And they're more close in reference to size. Unlike him and Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury used his weight properly in that last fight. He put his weight on Wilder, tired him out. So Wilder was pretty much on dead legs. And then you add in like I said, whether you want to call it a cheat, I think it's a foregone conclusion that he cheated. You can clearly see it from all the evidence. Nobody throws a punch. Nobody throws a hook with this part of their hand unless they're a faggot or a girl. You know what I'm saying? A homo or a girl are the only two people hidden like that. Excuse me using that word. I meant to say, which I only say that because, like I said, you use that word, all of a sudden YouTube is I'm not even monetized anyway. But you throw that on there, next thing you're saying that you hate gay people, which generally is just never meant anything negative. Like I said, the word faggot never, in my opinion, ever was a connotation that meant something bad. It just meant you were gay. Where I grew up, it didn't mean you were bad or you were worse. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't negative. It just meant you were gay. But I guess I can kind of see it because it can be used as a negative way. Because when you're saying someone is less than a man, you call them a faggot. Which, ironically, if you actually look, I don't even want to get into it. But it's a discussion about boxing. But so, nobody punches like this. Girls punch like this, not trained fighters. Okay? trained fighters don't fight like that. People keep saying, well, Wilder punches. Like, no, Wilder punches like this, where people go up underneath his punch and then he goes like that to kind of catch him with his forearm. That's not the same thing as someone loading up a punch and swinging with this part of it. Their aim is with this. Clearly, he understood that his glove was coming up and he was able to get some real good dingers in where he was hitting him with his bare fist. He was cheating, okay? Anybody who struggles with nuance, he was cheating, okay? He was cheating. There's no other way to say that than to say it. He cheated. I don't know if he would have beat Wilder without cheating. He probably would have. I don't know, because Wilder's not a good fighter. But he cheated. We never got to see it because he cheated. A lot of people gave Wilder the first 2 rounds. He switched his gloves, or he fixed his gloves, and all of a sudden, he started winning. After he laid a punch with his bare knuckle, as you can see from the picture, to the back of Deontay Wilder's head. That's what switched the fight. It was a clear punch to the back of the head. He's a dirty fighter. 90% of the people who train with him know that Tyson Fury is a dirty fighter. So do I think it's beneath him to purposely punch that man with an open, with a mock glove, where he knows it's going to be a bare knuckle punch, and hit him? All he has to do is get one good strike to the back of Deontay Wilder's head with bare knuckles, and I don't care who you are. If someone bare knuckle punches you in the back of your head, you're not going to get your shit right in the next 30, 40 minutes. You're going to be off probably the next 3 or 4 hours. So he knows, as a boxer, if he catches him bare knuckle, bam, right in the back of the head with this bare knuckle, there's a good chance that Wilder is out for the next hour or so. He's going to be out on his feet. And that's what happened. I think it was cheap. I think it robbed the young fighter in a sport that was emerging back to its place, and it robbed the sport of all that. Because now we have this boring ass champion who no one gives a shit about, who doesn't even who doesn't command attention. He's boring as hell to watch fight, and now he's the champion because he did some savvy veteran shit that took advantage of a young fighter. Like I said before, I don't think Tyson Fury is a bad fighter. Do I think that he's a great fighter? I mean, I don't think that he's a. Do I think he's a top tier, top heavyweight in the world? Hell no. Do I think he's a top 5 heavyweight in the world? Hell no. I think he's a great fighter, a good to great fighter, but he's a defensive fighter who doesn't really do that good defensively when he's fighting people who can actually punch him. He's a defensive fighter who got knocked down 4 times in his first fight with Wilder. So if you're a defensive fighter and you barely escaped a fight with a guy who's not particularly skilled as a boxer, who knocked you out, damn near knocked you out before you hit the canvas, that goes to show you're not that great of a defensive fighter. So therefore, how can you be a great champion if your forte is defense and you get knocked out? I mean, it's kind of common sense to anybody with common sense, but or a bias. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like I said before, I don't hate Tyson Fury, and I don't have I mean, now that I think about it, I do. I mean, it kind of made me angry when I think back on it. Like, he kind of killed the sport. But maybe coronavirus did it. Who knows? But at the end of the day, it was like, it was kind of messed up. But when I was watching the videos, I didn't have no bias. It was like, this is kind of obvious. He cheated. It's okay. No, it's not okay. It's kind of screwed up, but it's okay If you're, you know what I'm saying, that doesn't take away all his fights before that one. And who's to say he didn't cheat in those? Maybe it does. Maybe you have to look at all those fights with a fine or two comb. But it doesn't negate, you know what I'm saying, the fights he had before this one. But in this one, he definitely cheated. It's obvious he cheated. I mean, I don't know how you can look at any of those photos and think that that's a natural way a glove is supposed to look. That's a natural way you're supposed to punch. And it's common to break someone's skull when you're not a puncher, first. Secondly, you can look up you know how much pressure your hand will break before you break somebody's skull. And then you add it, that's if you have your bare fist, you are more likely to break your hand before you break somebody's skull. That's how hard the skull is. The skull is very, very dense bone. You will break every single one of these bones to break somebody's skull with a punch. And you probably end up disjointing your wrist, breaking a bone or two in your wrist, dislocate, whatever. But the mindset that you think you can just hit somebody in a glove and break their skull without when you're not a particular, like I said, it's possible. You know, rare to do it with bare hands. It's almost impossible. I don't think there's ever been a situation where someone has broken someone's skull with a glove on. Maybe I missed it. Maybe there is and I just missed it. You know what I'm saying? But as far as I know, that's never happened. So I'm more inclined to believe that Tyson Fury, who is not a puncher, even if someone has done it before, Tyson Fury, who is not a puncher doing it, is not something that I'm willing to believe did that. I believe he cheated. I believe that it's overwhelming evidence that he cheated, and at the very least, there should be an investigation, because it seems as if it was very, very weird. And he could have, and when you do stuff like that, I think if he should be banned from boxing. I literally think he should be banned from boxing, because he could have killed Tyson Fury. He could have killed Deontay Wilder. If found that he's cheating, I think there should be a lifetime ban, because that's malice. Like, you went in there cheating and then you punched someone in the back of their head, knowing that you did not have the proper padding to protect that person from terrible damage. I mean, you don't know what the long-term effects were of him doing that to Deontay Wilder. I thought there was something weird about that fight before he ever said anything. Because those punches, I mean, Deontay Wilder's ears started bleeding immediately, which is not common. It happened when you get the cauliflower ear, if someone but the only time someone's ear inflates that fast is generally when somebody's punching them with very thin gloves, or that happens in UFC a lot, because their gloves are thinner. They it cuts, it hits him and cuts the skin easy. It's not happening in boxing because the gloves are bigger and they're not as pointed. So it's hard. You have to really catch somebody in the ear and kind of stretch across it like that. So the thought process in that fight was weird from the get-go. I was like, how was that punch in the back of the head make him start bleeding out his ear? But now it all is starting to make more sense. It seems as if he knew what he was doing, and he kind of screwed the guy, a young fighter, over, which I think was kind of low. Anyways, I just wanted to say that because I keep hearing all the rah-rah about it, and I'm sick and tired of this junk. I'm tired. I just want to put my piece out in the air, which is, I believe the guy cheated. I mean, it's kind of obvious he cheated. And anybody who's saying he didn't cheat, saying you're mad because Wilder lost. I'm not mad because Wilder lost. I don't give a shit Wilder lost. I'm saying he cheated. You're mad because he cheated. That's all it is. You're mad because there's overwhelming evidence that your boy cheated. You were walking around for months touting this victory, and now you have to sit there and eat crow, because it's very, very possible that your boy cheated. Just my opinion. Anyways, let me know what you think. Comment, subscribe, thumbs it up if you like it. All right, y'all. Peace.